Hi, I'm Ben Domencino, and welcome to your Elders Weather Update for May 2024. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the Indian Ocean Dipole. What is it? How does it affect Australia? And what does it mean that we have the potential for a positive Indian Ocean Dipole later this year? The Indian Ocean Dipole refers to an index that measures the difference in sea surface temperature anomalies between these two regions in the tropical Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean Dipole can be in phases grading from positive to neutral to negative. The image on the left shows a typical pattern of a positive Indian Ocean Dipole, where we have warmer than average sea surface temperatures off the east coast of Africa and cooler than average sea surface temperatures near Indonesia off the northwest coast of Australia. This pattern of sea surface temperatures typically causes a decrease in convective activity or cloudiness and rainfall on the eastern side of the Indian Ocean near Australia, and an increase in cloudiness and rainfall on the western side of the Indian Ocean near Africa. By contrast, a negative Indian Ocean Dipole is a flip of this pattern, where we have cooler than average water off the Horn of Africa and warmer than average sea surface temperatures to the northwest of Australia, and this can increase the amount of moisture and cloud and rainfall on the eastern side of the Indian Ocean, including over parts of Australia. Now we will take a closer look at some of the typical impacts of a positive Indian Ocean Dipole in Australia during winter and spring. As you can see on that first map there, most of Australia typically sees lower than average rainfall in winter and spring when a positive Indian Ocean Dipole is in place. However, there are exceptions for parts of the far east and the far west, which don't have any strong influence to either wetter or drier conditions under a positive Indian Ocean Dipole. In terms of temperatures, daytime maximum temperatures are usually above average for most of the country during a positive Indian Ocean Dipole, particularly over western, central, southern and southeastern parts of Australia. Overnight minimum temperatures are also typically above average over large areas of WA and parts of central and southeastern Australia, and we often see below average minimum temperatures in the northern tropics when a positive IOD is in place. However, when the Indian Ocean Dipole is in its negative phase, we usually have opposite impacts in Australia, with above average rainfall for most areas of the country, particularly over the southeastern inland, and that's often due to an increase in northwest cloud bands during winter and spring. This increase in cloud cover also usually reduces maximum temperatures over the southern half of Australia, but in terms of minimums, we often see warmer than average nighttime temperatures and a slightly reduced risk of frost when a negative IOD is in place. Now we can take a look at what's currently happening and what's expected to happen as we move into winter. This graph shows the Indian Ocean Dipole Index from 2019 up until 2024. You can see there have been a few strong positive Indian Ocean Dipole events in that time. One was in 2019 and the other was last year. And over the past couple of months, we have seen a positive Indian Ocean Dipole signal emerging in the Indian Ocean. However, the past 2 weeks, that signal has weakened back a bit, and we've seen that index just drop back into that neutral range, although there are indications we could be seeing more positive IOD values in the coming months. One reason we've seen that signal just weaken a bit is because while we do have much warmer than average temperatures in the Indian Ocean Dipole West region, the cooler than average water on the eastern side of the Indian Ocean is sitting just outside that IOD East region. Because of that, we're not seeing the signal in the IOD index, but we are seeing those pockets of cooler than average water off the northwest coast of Australia. If they expand near the surface, then we could be seeing an IOD event developing in the coming weeks or months. The latest outlook from the Bureau of Meteorology does suggest that we could see that positive Indian Ocean Dipole event being declared this winter if we continue to see that positive IOD signal in the index being sustained for at least 8 weeks as we move into winter. So in summary, the Indian Ocean Dipole affects rainfall and temperatures in Australia, mainly during winter and spring, and there are signs that a positive Indian Ocean Dipole may develop this winter and then linger into the early part of spring. A positive Indian Ocean Dipole typically causes warmer and drier weather for large areas of Australia at this time of year, but while we are seeing early signs of a positive Indian Ocean Dipole emerging, this event is not locked in just yet.